All right, so now that that has been removed, gonna find all the bolts that fell out. 2 15s, 4 10s, just throw those in a safe spot. So now, as far as the front diff is concerned, if you guys can't see, let me know. Little humor there. You guys can't tell me anything. Here's our front differential. Seems pretty straightforward. What a lot of people do is, hopefully you guys can see this bolt right here. That's the bolt that Supreme Suspensions wants you to remove. What a lot of people do is they remove the perch bolt. This bolt is a big long lag bolt, and so the front differential here actually mounts to this little arm right here, and it's mounted to the frame of the body. This is the bolts that they want you to remove in this kit, because a lot of people complain that the bolts aren't long enough and they don't work and that the company's just lazy or whatever. It's because you're putting the damn spacers in the wrong place, you wing nut. We need to actually put the spacers between where they bolt up and the differential itself. Don't put the spacers where the mount is mounted. Put them between the mount itself and the differential itself. So I believe that's where one is going to go. That's where the next one's going to go. And then we got to go over here to the other side and figure out where the other side mounts to. Maybe right there, it looks like. So here, yeah, that looks good. So right there. And then, yep, the last one is right over here, and that one is going to be the biggest pain in the butt. The rest actually aren't going to be too terribly bad, it doesn't seem like. And this is why, so this side, the passenger side, I'm going to call this, is why they give you 2 new nuts. We'll go over here and look at what we have. In the package, we've got these, which come with nuts, and these that don't. So this is what you're getting. You're getting 4 of these aluminum spacers, 4 of these bolts, and 2 of these nylock nuts. So these 2 go on the passenger side, and these 2 go on the driver's side. And the driver's side bolts are 18s, and the passenger side ones holding up the front diff are 21s. All right, I'm gonna start with the low-hanging fruit, so to speak. Well, that one fell out. It almost seems like the factory bolts would be enough. I am thoroughly pleased and shocked about how simple this seems to be going so far. I'm gonna do one upgrade to this system. So one thing I don't like is that the factory bolts, they have washers on them. I'm going to throw some washers on these because it seems dumb that they don't have washers on them already. Oh yeah, these are higher grade anyway. Look at that. And I need 1. Some of these are different thicknesses. Those 2 are thick. Do I have 4 thick ones? Or do I have 4 thin ones? I've got thinner ones. These two right here are pretty deadgum thick. Don't need those. So yeah, I'll bring a spare. Had just enough. Yeah, that'll just make me feel better. I think this should have a washer on it. It just makes sense to me. But see, this is the factory. This is one of the factory bolts, and it's got a big old fat washer on it. These washers should be stronger because of their different grade, but I just feel like it's a swell idea. This actually, I mean, you can basically, it's like a 4 corners deal. You can basically just do one at a time. It's pretty cool, actually. At least on the driver's side, you can do one at a time. Can you imagine how much easier this would be with an impact? I could have been done already. And now we've got this thing spaced down, and you can only fit 1-inch spacers or however wide they are. There's only one kit basically that works on these 2014 and up Chevy trucks, or I think they actually go down even farther than that in the years, but mine is specifically a 2014 new body style, and it works well, at least on that side. So like, I've got the driver's side done already, and really it took me longer to figure out what tools I needed than it did for me to actually do the driver's side. So we're gonna jump over here to the passenger side, and it seems like that one right there is gonna be really, really easy. It seems like we got ample space to, you know, do what we need to do. But this one over here is where it looks like it's just gonna be a pain in the butt, because the electronic steering system is just right in the way. So we're gonna swap out that 18 that we had over here for this 21. And we're gonna bust this one loose. So now I'm not real sure what we need to do here. I don't have a clue. I'm gonna use my 21mm regular wrench right here, see if I can get it. If this doesn't work, then I will let you know. All right, so we just made it back from Lowe's. They were the only place open on Sunday, or at least only place open that I could find. And so we got these Hillman bolts here. Here's the part number, and hopefully you guys can see all that. There's all the information about it and whatnot. So these are M12 by 175 by 80mm bolts. So these should do the trick. I think 80 mil is kind of like the magic number. That's gonna be plenty, but just in case, we're gonna also make sure. So this is the bolt that comes with the spacer kit. And so if they just started throwing an extra set of these bolts in there, I think we'd be golden, because I did a little bit more research, and apparently pretty much all of these passenger side mounts that mount up the front differential are like this. They have shanks like this. Maybe, I mean, obviously, maybe, you know, if you didn't have a four-wheel drive truck, you wouldn't even have to deal with this, but this is where we're at. So real quick, we're gonna bust out the dial calipers once again, the digital calipers, I mean, and so zero it out. So what were these earlier? These were, let's see, let's unlock these. Or no, this one. So we basically just need, did I zero this out? There we go. We basically just needed a bolt that was ½ an inch longer than the factory bolt from end to end. This is 2.8 inches. And so we're looking for, what would that be? 3.5, is that, or 3.3? So we're gonna be looking for 3.3, and we're at 3.4590. So these should work perfect, 80 mil. And since they are, turn this off, hopefully we won't need these again. And since these are so much bigger, or longer, I should say, as I did with the other bolts, I'm going to throw on some washers because I feel like it would just make me feel better as a person. These are some thicker grade 8 washers. So I'm just gonna throw these on the top. Obviously you don't need a washer for the bottom, especially if you're gonna be reusing the factory nut, which I definitely am gonna be doing. But so basically we're just gonna toss this on here, give that a little bit extra space. Then we can throw these on just like that. And that's gonna be perfect, I think. That's gonna work out really well. So the spacers are gonna go on just like that. Gonna have plenty of space for everything. Diff is gonna go back on that. So yeah, I'm happy we got it all figured out. I wish it wouldn't have been so difficult, but here we are. So let's jump up under the truck and get everything put back together, because once this is done, I figured that this would be one of the harder things that we were going to be doing to the truck, with doing the leveling kit and all that. And this may probably end up being its own video, so there's that. But I figured that this was going to be one of the more difficult things that we had to deal with, So once, I'm gonna be really stoked once this is done, because then I won't have to be up under the truck. Everything else is gonna kind of just be here on the driver's side and on the passenger side. So we won't be using the creeper anymore. So yeah, pretty excited about it. It's just gonna be a matter of getting everything put back in place. So you guys can probably see a lot better now that it's daylight, but here is where the electronic steering box is. And so I undid the 2 bolts here, up here on the left and over here on the passenger side, the upper and lower. And then I undid this driver's side bolts all the way, and then I just undid this one just to where it was loose, so this could pivot but not fall all the way down. So that way we had much greater access to everything. So it really works out very, very well. So I'm actually gonna pull these out. I'm gonna install these last. All right, so now we gotta make sure we got the big long bolts up in there. Yep, there's that longer bolt that some people like to replace. I don't think I would have been able to find this anywhere, if I'm being totally honest with you. Like, I have no idea where I would have located longer bolts in my specific area. Like, I don't have a clue. I can't exactly remember how I pulled this out last night, but pretty sure it goes in just like this. I mean, I was able to get it out last night with the studs and whatnot sticking out of it. Look at that. Easy. Okay, so now we just got to find the nuts that go on the end. I believe it's that guy right there. That's one of them. And looks like this one might be the other. Get this just started. And I believe that is correct. Yep, that's right. Look at that. Awesome. Just got to come up over here, get this one in as well. And so once that's up, these bolt holes should line up perfectly. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, I think I got it. Cool. For this, you're just gonna need a 15. You're gonna need a 15 wrench, ratchet. I ended up using a ratchet for the rearward one, and I used a wrench for the forward one. You might be able to get away with using a ratchet for both. So you got to get a hold of the top of the lag bolt. And so the way I did that was I just stuck my hand up here through the front of the engine bay, and I came up and I was able to reach it right there. If you guys can see that, I got my hand and I got right up on it. So then I got my electric impact. If you don't have one of these, save up and get you one. They are a lifesaver. They save you so much time. Just come right up through here and get attached. And now it's not in the middle of the night, so I don't feel bad about doing this. And then this one's kind of tricky. So, oh no, I lost my 15. Okay, so for this rearward one, it's a little bit more complicated to get to, but it's not too bad. So you come up here where the catalytic converter is, and you just kind of have to get both hands up in there and just find it. I'm gonna leave that there, and I'm gonna go around the truck and come through the other way. This is how I was able to get to it easier last night. Yeah, this is way easier. You can get your hands in here better. So just gotta find the top of the nut. All right, now we can start putting everything back together. All right, so let's start with getting these thrown in to the bracket that we have now modified. So we're going to just come up in here through the top and slip them down in. That one's in. Gotta get the next one in. And maybe coming through the front again would be easier to reach it, maybe. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Boom. Tell you what, I'm gonna pull that one back out. I don't have a clue what size these are. 19 maybe? Yep, 19. So get you a 19 wrench if you're getting these specific bolts. And so just like with the other side, you're just gonna come up in here and slip these spacers right there. And that worked out just so well. So you may have to finagle with this a little bit. I can definitely see why having the bolts pressed in may have been better for assembly, you know, on the assembly line. It's probably a lot better for that. But as far as the aftermarket modifications that a lot of people do to these, you know, it's just wouldn't have worked out as well. So I just want to get this one started. Got that one in. It's gonna make getting this one in so much easier. At least I say that. Reach up in here and hold it tight. There we go. And this is definitely 80 millimeter. That's the right ticket there. So now we're gonna grab our 19. I'm gonna snake it up in there. Let's see if we can get the top of this one. And it's right there. Now it's gonna cinch up. Come back a little bit, get to this one. There it is. There. So to recap, we've got the spacers in on all four corners. This side was, the driver's side was definitely way easier. We've got everything in, it's solid. I got dirt in my mouth, I'm happy. I'm just gonna show you guys real quick. I'm gonna throw the electronic power steering back in so that way you guys can kind of see that. I didn't exactly demonstrate how to get it out, but from me throwing it back together, it should be pretty self-explanatory, I would hope. These are, I believe, 18s. I'm not sure where my 18 is, or maybe they're, no, this is an 18. Yep, these are 18s, and these guys are freaking huge. They are 24s. So I'm gonna try and get the top one in first. So the top one on the passenger side is right here. If you guys can see it, it's that hole right there. So we're just going to, I'm gonna grab my extensions here, slide this on here, and I'm gonna push it up. And I'm gonna see if I can't get it started and then run it down with the impact. So this may be kind of finicky. I may actually try and get the bottom one in first since I can actually see it. It don't really matter. You just gotta, there it is right there. If you guys can see that, hope you can. Push this up. Start rotating it in. Just spinning it by hand for now. Seems to be threading okay, so I'm gonna just give it a little, just light touches with the impact, just to try and get it to seat in. Okay, I'm not going to, I got that one in and I'm not gonna go all the way hard with it. I'm gonna get the top one in, I'm gonna get the rest of them started, and then I'll cinch everything down the whole way. I can't exactly see the top here, but I'm gonna do my best. Oh yeah, it lined right up. That's perfect, that's exactly what I wanted. So I'm gonna run it down a little bit more. That's okay, it took my socket, that's fine. I'm gonna throw this on. Gonna get this bottom one started. Gotta adjust it just a little bit to get it lined up. Top one's already lined up. Wear ear protection. Jeez, that hurt. Steering rack is back in. Now we can throw back on these cover plates. This one right here that's kind of got a bend to it, this is the driver's side. These are just 15s. Of course. There we go. So I'm not going to show you guys, you know, putting the skid plate back on or anything like that. I've got a lot more I got to get done, but that is how you correctly install, at least for my case, the Supreme suspension front diff lowering spacers. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's kind of inevitable that you have to go and buy some longer bolts in some form or fashion for this to actually work. But, you know, I think, you know, the way that I did it is technically correct, and that's how it's designed to be done, instead of trying to get longer, like big long lag bolts for the actual mounting brackets for the diff itself. Just put them between the brackets and the diff. So, yep. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope it helped you. Leave some comments in the comment section down below. Like the video, share it with your friends, and I'll see you guys in the next one. We're gonna be finishing this thing up.